everyone, I'm Keely and this is Voice of a Creative, and today I'm here to show you my February makes. I didn't make too many things for myself in February, and that was partly because I did my massive wardrobe clear out and I still need to get onto the kind of planning phase of what things I actually want to make to support me making my dream wardrobe. But secondly, it was because although I had half term, I spent most of that half term sewing for the school production. They were doing Grease, the musical, and there were quite a few things that I had to make for that. So I've actually only made 2 things for myself, 1 thing for my husband, and then quite a lot of things for the production. So I made 10 skirts in total and a dress and some other bits and pieces, and I will talk you through those as well. So firstly, I made this. This is a Blackwood cardigan by Helens Closet, and I used a French terry that I just got from my local fabric shop, the Nylon Shop. It is overlocked throughout. It's quite a lightweight French terry, and I made it in the longer length, but I didn't add the pockets. I've had quite a lot of trouble adding the pockets in the past, and I probably wouldn't have had a problem with this fabric. But actually I'm used to wearing cardigans without pockets, so I don't actually mind too much if it doesn't have them. So I will just pop this on to show you. So I just stuck with the standard neckband width. I have doubled it before, but I just stuck with the normal one this time. I do shorten the sleeves with this, but I really love the structure that this one has. I feel like it fits me really nicely around the shoulder. It is the longer length, which I actually really like, and I absolutely love the colour. I think it's going to be really good for me to wear with jeans and t-shirts and things, and I have worn it with some dresses as well. So yeah, really love this one. Love that as a cardigan pattern. I'm sure I will get a lot of wear out of it as well. And I hadn't made a Blackwood cardigan in a little while, so what I was trying to do is use this fabric, which was a cheaper fabric, to make a cardigan so that I could test out the pattern again, because you know how it is sometimes if you haven't made a pattern for a while, you kind of think, oh, what if it doesn't fit me? And I have got some other French terries that I would like to cut into to make a few more cardigans, because I just want some more casual cardigans for on the weekend. I really want to try and make a difference between my school wear, what I wear for work, and what I wear on a weekend, and I think that making some out of French terry, it's kind of like hoodie-esque then, but it's a little bit smarter to wear on the weekend. My second make is this. It is the Bertha cardigan by Tilly and the Buttons, and it is from this book. So this is Tilly and the Buttons Make It Simple. And I went for the Bertha cardigan first of all because I really liked the look of it, and I have some really lovely knits that I would like to make it in. And this was a really quick sew. I think it ended up taking me about an hour and a half to put everything together. It was a little tricky with this fabric because it did start to stretch on my overlocker, but I did manage to fix that. It was an overlocker problem, nothing to do with the pattern. And I was a bit worried about this to begin with because it's quite a relaxed fit, and as you might know, I prefer to go for things that are a little bit more fitted, but I absolutely love this cardigan. And the first week that I made it, I basically wore it every single day. I wore it with t-shirts and jeans, and then with this skirt, which I will show you the full outfit in a minute, and I absolutely love it, and I want to make a few more because it is so cozy and warm, but also a really relaxed fit, and I feel like that's a really nice kind of addition to my wardrobe. It's completely different to the other things that I've got. Yeah, so this is it here, the Bertha cardigan, and it's recommended that you can use like a finer knit or a thicker knit if you want to as well. So it says light to medium weight drapey knit fabric. So, and this is the line drawing. So it's got back wing type sleeves. So let me stand up and show you. This is the fabric. So this is from Sew Me Sunshine. It's a beautiful mint and grey marl knit. And then this is the full cardigan. So it's completely different from my normal style, but I actually really love it. So cozy. So it's got a neckband, much like the Blackwood cardigan, and it's got a waistband as well, like the Blackwood cardigan, and then cuffs and sleeves like the Blackwood cardigan. The difference is this has got a very exaggerated raglan sleeve, which is different, and also you can see they are back wing sleeves, so they drape down quite a lot. hence the need for a really drapey knit. You can make it in a more structured knit, but it won't be as drapey, obviously. So this worked really well for it. And I will link this fabric down below because I think Harriet still has some, so you could definitely go ahead and buy some. But absolutely love this. It is so cozy. I keep putting it on, and especially on days where I have a lot of stress on my shoulders, it's a perfect one to put on and just feel really cozy in. So that's the sleeves, and you can see the seam goes there, so it hangs down quite a lot. And then at the back, you've got the band, and then again it's quite loose fitted. I feel like I did wear it with this skirt, and I actually really still like it with this skirt. I think it works because I'm still cinched in at my waist, so you can still see that in this. I feel like I still have my shape like this, and with this on top I think it can still work because it's quite a drapey knit for me. So the cuffs are a little bit bigger than the Blackwood cardigan as well, so that's the cuff. I did take a little bit of length off the sleeve. I think it was about 1.5 inches, because they were draping down a lot, and actually they were probably coming to about here, which is fine if you wanted it like that, but I was thinking actually I want to be able to have these sleeves out of the way a little bit for when I'm at home and I'm doing art and things. And I did wear it out on the weekend as well, so it's not just a wear it at home cardigan, but super comfy and cozy. I definitely really recommend it. I do have at least 2 more planned, and I have the fabric for that already. And then I want to go on and try and mix some of the other things from the Tilly and the Buttons book, because there are so many cute things, and I have lots of plans for that as well. So on to the Grease performance. Now, the music teacher at school asked me to help, and that was because I could support with the set and costume and props. I don't think I've ever said this before on here, but my degree was actually in art and drama, so a lot of my experiences were around that, and I have done costumes and sets and things for performances before in a more amateur sense for school productions, and then for our university ones as well. So it's something that I really know how to do, and I really love doing it. I find it really fun, and I love to be involved in productions as well. And so I've been attending rehearsals and thinking about what we need this whole time, and we've tried to source quite a lot of things, but it did come to a point where I needed to make a few things. I had originally thought that I wanted to make lots of circle skirts, and I made one circle skirt to start with, but it was actually quite a lot of hassle to make lots of circle skirts in different sizes, because you would have to draft it each time for each measurement, which I guess wouldn't take that long in terms of cutting them and things like that, but I also thought it might take a little bit more fabric. I was trying to save time, and the hemming of a circle skirt takes a lot longer than the hemming of any other skirt. So I actually drew inspiration from the Donovan skirt, the one that I'm wearing, and I decided to make elasticated waist skirts for the performance instead. So I will pop in a picture so you can see. So I made 8 cheerleader skirts. So I just got some red cotton sheeting from Fabricland. Really lovely to work with, actually. It was perfect for this. And I used inch wide elastic, and then I think I did triple their waist measurement for the actual skirt, and then I gathered it onto the waistband, and then I added 10 inches to their waist measurement for the waistband, because that was basically the difference between their waist and hips. Although I knew that I would have to add more than that if I was making a skirt for me, because the difference between my waist and hips is a lot more, but these were teenagers, so it was less. So that was the kind of formula I went for the gathered skirts, and then I just had to sew them all up. So I actually hand stitched through to do the gathers. I wanted larger gathers so the skirt would look more full, and to hem them I literally sewed round 1 centimetre from the edge and then folded it up and sewed at the same time without any pinning. So I did some really quick sewing with that, and that was because I was making 8 skirts. And I tell you what, by the end of it, I was so bored of making skirts, it was a bit ridiculous. I kind of sewed them all together, and they probably took me about 40 minutes each, which I think is pretty good going. And I used my sewing machine, my Genome Atelier 6, to actually do the inside. I had a bit of cotton tape, and I did their name on it in the embroidery letters, and then I stitched that on the inside, so it's really easy for them to find their skirt each night, so that was really good. I also made a gathered skirt for the person who played Sandy in the musical as well, and I also made her an underskirt to go under that to make that a little bit more full. I will try and find a picture to pop that up as well. So that was in a light blue cotton sheeting again. And the last skirt that I made was out of a tartan check fabric, which I got from Like So Amazing. I made this slightly less full because I'd already cut out the rectangular panels, so I just gathered that onto the waistband as well, and again I will pop in a picture. So that was, well, 10 skirts and an underskirt, so 11 as it were. So lots of skirt sewing, and I think I've got really good at sewing gathered skirts by now. They were just simple rectangles then gathered because I didn't want to do anything too complicated when I was making that many. I also made 16 capes. So these were quite simple. We bought some, I don't know what the fabric is actually, but it's kind of like a netting with sequins on it. And I cut them in the style of a circle skirt, but so that it was all joined together. So I folded it in half, kind of that way and then that way, so I could cut a quarter of a circle and then cut again, and it would become, there was basically a circle in the centre that they put their head through, and they looked really cool as well. I don't know if I have a picture of those, but I will insert it if I do. And that was for beauty school dropout. We also made hats out of painted toilet rolls for them to wear, and that was 16 of them, but it looked really effective on the night. It looked awesome. Obviously I can't share pictures of the actual performance because the students' faces would be in them, and I can't share those on my YouTube channel. And then lastly, I made a dress for Chacha, who is in the dance scene, and I used a pattern. I used this pattern, so this is the New Look 6457, and I made this version here, the black version with the cherries here, this one. So this was a halter neck. It had darts at the bottom but not at the sides, and the pattern piece was cut on the fold, so the front bodice was all in one, and then you had panels for the back bodice. Yeah, so then you had 2 panels for the back bodice, and then you inserted a zip at the back as well. I did change it up slightly though, so I did that bodice and then I added on a circle skirt to it, and then onto this circle skirt I added a frill. I first decided to make it all out of a red polka dot fabric, but then I decided to add lace onto the bodice. So to do that, I just cut the whole bodice out of lace again and mounted it onto the polka dot fabric, and then treated them as one, and then stitched them with the lining, turned everything inside out, and then attached it to the skirt and stitched the zip in. So I was really pleased that that fitted, because as you know, making a dress is quite complicated for yourself, let alone for anybody else, but it fitted her really well. And I did add also a belt to that, a red cotton belt, and I really liked the look of it. It looked really cute, and it was really swishy as well, so that was really good for the dance scene for the performance. I would actually really recommend this pattern. I would say that it's got quite a lot of ease in it, so I graded out at the waist for it. I sized down and then graded slightly out at the waist, because this is quite a thin waist measurement, but really lovely pattern to work with actually. So pleased with that, and that was just from my stash. That was really good. So that's all of the sewing things I made for Greece. I did make the background set as well, and all of the props and other bits and pieces. I was hand rolling fake cigarettes for days, which I find absolutely hilarious because they're such a big part of the performance. And I actually cut out the lettering for all of the signage that I did on my Cricut machine, so it made it a lot easier to make everything, so I'm really pleased with that as well. Hopefully, now that's over, I will get back to thinking about my own sewing and getting back to doing some planning for my dream wardrobe as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please press the thumbs up and subscribe if you want to hear more from me. Goodbye!